Take it away, Jay.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the latest edition of the Renatus J.A.M. My name is Jay Stark, and joining me, as always, is my fearless co-host,
Mr. Matt Snyder.
Mr. Matt Snyder. So, Matthew, what is new and exciting, my friend?
Well, I don't want to steal our guest's story, but sounds like Texas is under snow and ice. I don't think that that's as much exciting as it is new, but we were just talking about a story. It'd be kind of maybe fun to tell. We've got nationals coming up as always. I don't think that's new at this point, though, right? Like,
That's exciting, though.
it's exciting, but if you watch the podcast, if you don't, if you're a part of Renatus, you should know that Nationals is coming up. That shouldn't be new information. But yes, March 18th, 19th, and 20th, we will be doing Renatus Nationals, and I'm super excited for it.
Oh, man. I tell you what, I'm having a hard time sleeping. I'm so anxious for the national conference. Every year I get super excited. I'm looking forward to the content, the speakers, the agenda, the awards ceremony. Oh, it's going to be epic this year. But I'm telling you, I get so riled up thinking about how much fun this is and how much fun we're going to have. And then it comes and it goes too quickly. I never get to really savor that moment. But I am so looking forward to this year at Nationals. I can't even give away all of the fun stuff that we've got planned. But last week we announced that we had a brand new addition to the Nationals lineup. Matt, who is that?
Well, we've got two featured speakers. I don't want to let a cat. We had discussed what Dino's going to talk about. I don't know if you even revealed his last name. Did you?
So his name is Dino Watt, W-A-T-T.
Okay.
He specializes in body language training, and he's going to be giving us more information on how to sell effectively through the screen. So Dino, he's got a phenomenal story, and I'm not going to take away from that. I'll let you get to know him at the national conference. But more than 10 years ago, he actually developed a system for being able to sell effectively through a screen. So through a camera, through a screen, in an online format. And now that we've all gone this direction, it seems like it couldn't be more timely to be presenting this to the Renatus Nation. He came here last week and gave the Renatus staff a short introduction to who he is and what he does. And all of us were just left in awe of the information that he presented us with. It was a phenomenal experience.
He's the best in the world at what he does. It was fantastic. I'm excited. I'm excited just to get it recorded, right? Because what he shared with us, I was sitting there writing down as fast as I could, and I missed some of it because it was so good. But I'm just body language and how you communicate, and I'm not going to get too much into it. I don't want to blow what he's talking about at all, but it really was really cool. If you've ever seen the show Lie to Me, it's a lot like that, right? And he's good. He was pulling people out of the audience. He's good. It was awesome.
Yeah, he is really good. He's not quite like the main character of Lie to Me, that short guy that gets all up in everyone's business. But instead, he helps people. He helps people work on their communication in their relationships, so their marriage, their business partners, people that work with them, for them. And he's got such an amazing method of being able to share effectively and to communicate openly and honestly and authentically that it just really, he gives you an even playing field with every single person that you encounter. And I'm truly looking forward to what he's going to present at the national conference. So he is just one more addition to the amazing lineup that we have in this year's national. Now, we are going to an online-only format. And actually, Matt, we have one more announcement about the national and the price.
Well, it's going up. So you better actually so Jay, the early bird special date March March 1st, right?
Yes.
I'm pulling up a calendar
March
here.
1st.
Yes.
Yeah,
March 1st.
It's
so
March 1st.
I was counting the days. So yes.
This
5
coming
days.
Sunday, February 28th at 11:59 p.m. is when the early bird discount expires. Okay? So that's this Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. Just in case anybody's confused. That's when the early bird discount expires. That means that you need to get your ticket right now. Get it this week before the price goes to its full price, which is $275. Now, I got to be honest. Even at the $275, this event is way underpriced for the amount of content that's going to be shared, for the amount that's going to be given to you. This is way underpriced even at $275. But if you want to save a couple of bucks up front, get your ticket and get it now.
Absolutely. Just what Dino's going to talk about is worth the $275 alone. We haven't talked about the other featured speaker. I'm not gonna pull that cat out of that bag. I'll let you if you want to. But
so are you talking about Mr. Larson?
I am. Yes.
So we have been promoting Steve. So we have a ClickFunnels extraordinaire. So he was Russell Brunson. Russell Brunson is the founder of ClickFunnels, and his right-hand man was Steve Larson. And Steve is going to come in and he's going to show us a lot of how funnels are created, why they work, and then Bob's going to come in right behind him and show you a whole new set of tools that's going to be available to you right after the National. So you can't miss this one. If you miss this, it is going to set you back in your Renatus opportunity. So you want to make sure that you sign up now, get your front row seat reserved. And we are asking, if you're going to watch the National, we would like you to have a ticket. So a lot of people have said, well, I'm just going to put it up on my screen and whoever's in my house with me, they can watch it. They absolutely can. However, we just ask everybody that takes part to have their own ticket. So that's the ask from Bob and the Renatus corporate team. Yeah. Yep. All right. I think that's about enough on the National Conference. I can't wait to see you guys all there. Now, Mr. Snyder, why don't you introduce our featured guest today?
I'm really excited to introduce our featured guest today. Man, this guy he's in the top 5 on the 5-star winner circle. He is an illustrious pit team member and this guy can close business. And I even hear he does real estate deals too. So I want to bring out Daine Clark to come and talk to us a little bit about what he's doing, what he's excited about, what's going on in his future.
Mr. Clark, welcome to the Renatus Jam. You
excited
are one
to be here.
Of
Sorry,
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just Googling illustrious right now to make sure I know what that actually means. Because
oh crap, I should do that too.
No, just kidding. Sorry.
That's funny. No, you know what? You are one of our favorite guests to have on. You absolutely killed the last time you were here, talking a little bit about your structured conversations. If anybody who's listening didn't get a chance to watch that, go back and find that podcast and watch it, because Daine flat killed it. I think this is actually, if I'm counting, this is your 3rd time on our podcast, isn't it?
I think. Yeah, actually, I think it is. Because we did that one with Sandy.
It is. You did the one with Sandy. Yep. And then you did one alone, and then this one, man. 3rd time in a year. I think we're right at the year mark.
Crazy.
So congratulations. Way to go. You're the
learning. I'll have to keep on.
You got the record, man.
Go ahead. I'll have to keep on doing good stuff, I guess. And follow.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Boom, baby.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
Let me ask you this question. So why are you looking forward to attending the National Conference? I mean, how many Nationals have you attended?
Oh man. Let's see. I joined in 2015, and I have to admit that I didn't go in 2016 because I was like, oh, Nationals, whatever, I didn't really know what the benefit was. And so let's see, I've never missed since 2017. So whatever that number is. I'm not a head math guy. So 17, 18, 19, 20. So this is number 5. This will be my fifth. Holy cow! 5 nationals. Fifth
So
nationals. Wow.
Way to go.
What are some of the benefits that you've received by attending past national conferences?
You know, I'm glad you asked that because nationals for me, I remember being the newbie, right? Because I did skip my first one and I've repented. I've repented and never missed a single one since. But I remember my first nationals. And when I was still just newbie, I was, I still hadn't really, nobody knew who I was at that time. I think I was 5-star by that time. But I mean, frankly, it changed my life. I remember there's a couple ways that there's a couple things I feel like that are life-changing events. Some of those are going to, like reading a book or taking a class or over and over and over coming to the weekly meetings and that's a life-changing thing. And it takes a long time for some of those things. But when you come to a nationals and what Bob and Jay and Matt and the whole home team, and they jumble everything together into one nationals, a 3-day party, if you will. It's almost as if you speed up the curve for spending maybe 6 months out in the field and trying to do this and learn from your mistakes and say this and learn from your mistakes and try that and learn from your mistakes. And the nationals is just like, bam, all these awesome things all in one. And they even put a pretty bow on top for you to, to really like speed up that learning. So for me, like if I go back to each year, I mean, there was at least one thing that changed my life. Things like Garrett Gunderson, things like Woody Woodward, things like the Locator Foundation or Operation Underground Railroad. Oh my gosh! Like, and even people that were speaking in the 5-star winner circle. I remember listening to people like Scott, and especially those beginning, when I was a newbie, and listening like, man, I want to say it the way that Scott Rose says it. And when I started shifting my mindset that way, where it's like, hey, he says it a really nice way. It sounds good to the ears. I'm going to say it like that. And changed my business. Oh, absolutely changed my business.
That's awesome. So let me ask you this question. Because we talk about when the business goes from your head to your heart, right? We say that phrase a lot in Renatus. So at what point in time did the business go from your head to your heart?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if this is the answer that you're looking for, but I'm going to be honest with this. I remember buying my very first national ticket. And because I had skipped the previous one, probably had some of that head talk going on, but I bought my very first national ticket. And leading up to nationals, from the time I had purchased because I did get the early bird, and I've got the early bird every single year. But after purchasing that first nationals ticket and then up the time to actually sitting in the seats, I feel like there was all this like negative self-talk. There were things like, oh, is this really going to be worth it? And what's going to happen? And like, I remember going through all of this stuff like that. And then I sat in those seats for 3 days, listened to the people, took action on the things that they gave me, and even took the notes to be like, all right, when I go back out on the field, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And so every single nationals, I went. It's interesting. Even after becoming 5-star and all that stuff, I would still have those experiences where there was like all this negative self-talk, and then bam, I was like, oh my gosh, like I got to reinvent myself. This is why I'm doing this. I mean, even listening to Operation Underground Railroad. What's his name?
Tim Ballard. Tim
Ballard.
Yeah.
I just finished one of the books that he wrote. Actually, awesome. He's an awesome author, by the way. But I remember reinventing myself every single time, because if Tim Ballard sharing his story, and even though it was nothing about real estate and nothing about Renatus specifically, but choosing in and deciding that, oh my gosh, this is my purpose. I've said this to a few people, but I feel like Renatus helped me find my purpose. I feel like my purpose in life is to help other people, and more specifically to help other people put themselves in a position where they outpace the status quo. Status quo. I don't know how to pronounce that. Status quo, something like that.
That's right.
And thank you. I was gonna have to Google it here in just a second, but I don't even know how to spell it. But every single time, it was almost as if there were all these things that said that I was like, oh man, maybe I shouldn't go, or all these negative things, and then I went. And every time it has taken it, like Jay said, from my head to my heart, a little bit deeper every time, a little bit deeper every time. Where it's interesting though, this year, I just have excitement. That's it. There's nothing, it's like I have removed every doubt in my mind that Renatus is the best opportunity in this country for people. There is absolutely zero doubt. I have seen enough stories. I have done enough deals myself. I have helped enough. I've watched enough other people achieve success that you would look at them and be like, oh, really? You bought Renatus? And then months, even years later, you're just like, oh my gosh, I need Renatus. If you're doing that and you're having that success, I need Renatus. There is no more doubt in my mind. And so this year is cool. I'm just excited. That's it. And
yeah.
So, but it took me 5 years. Took me 5 years to really get that deep rooted into my heart, as deep as it is. But now I believe the Renatus blue.
Welcome to the club, my friend. That's awesome. I know so many people that we've talked with inside of the Renatus community. They say the same thing. When I hear the stories from other people, when I see other people that are going before me that have come from a similar background or maybe a worse background and are charging forward with confidence, that's what gave me that push to go out there and make it happen. That's what gave me the courage to know that I could do it as well. And I'm right with you, man. Listening to the keynote speakers, I mean, from Troy Dunn to James Lawrence to Tim Ballard, listening to these guys come out and talk about what hardships they've come through and what they've been able to create, it's just phenomenal. And James Lawrence, he's the keynote last year. He's the Iron Cowboy, the 50-50-50, right? 50 Ironman triathlons in 50 states in 50 days. He just blew me away with not just his eloquence, but the simple way that he was able to take these constructive ideas, these big ideas, and really break them down to these bite-sized pieces. And that, I mean, I've been quoting that guy for a year now. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So anyway, I'm seriously happy to hear that. And I know that there's so many other people out there that are nodding their heads right now going, oh yeah, I felt that before. So what advice would you give to somebody who's brand new, who may be looking at the national conference right now and not sure if they should make that sacrifice?
I mean, obviously it's going to be very cliche if I just say, just freaking get there, do whatever it takes. But if I do try to take it a step deeper, if you're somebody that has been experiencing, life to this point, if your experience has been anything less than what you hoped it would be, what Renatus has been for me, I mean, I was actually just talking, this is crazy, my wife and I were just talking about this. I remember having my biggest hopes and dreams, like the as big as my mindset, I wanted to make at least $72,000 in a year. I laugh at this now, but I wanted to make over $72,000 in a year. I wanted to be able to travel, maybe 1 month out of the year, have home paid for and all that kind of stuff. And it was interesting. Like I remember when I achieved that goal within these first few years of joining Renatus, and obviously nobody's the same and everybody's got their own challenges and everybody has their own path. But because of Renatus, I have had to set goals for my goals even. And because of Renatus, I have had to start, I've had to start dreaming bigger than I ever thought possible. I never thought that I would my yearly dream salary and turn it into my monthly salary. And so because of to the new people, if you're just getting started, start dreaming a little bigger than what you're dreaming right now. And you'll notice that larger dream, the things that you're like, oh, this is like above possible, like push that a little bit, show up to nationals, and notice that you're going to see things differently from this. You will hear the speaker differently because of the dreams and visions that you have when you show up to nationals. So start now. Get goals for your goals. Get the goals that you're going to set after you achieve your goal. Yes. Never even imagined that this would be possible.
Man, that's awesome. You said you got started with Renatus in 2015. And at what point did you get 15th. To that point where you had when did you eclipse your first goal, your first dream?
Let's see. We bought our first house. It's an interesting one because the goal was actually something that I wanted to decrease. When my wife and I first got married, I was paying like $860 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment in I felt like 1,000-unit apartment complex. And then we moved into a home that was built in like 1901. And I'm 6'4". We lived in the attic because downstairs the guy was running a business. And I lived in the attic of a 1901. I'm not sure if you've ever stepped foot into a 1901 building, but they have vaulted ceilings. The problem is they starting like right here. And so I used to hit my head every single day, it felt like, because the doorway was short, the vault was too short, but we were saving money. Our rent was $100 cheaper than the 1-bedroom in Salt Lake City. And then we moved in with my uncle, and we were paying $400 a month. And because of Renatus, I was able to go find a house that somebody had tried to flip, and they ran out of money, they ran out of time basically, and they had to just unload this half-done flip. And my wife and I bought that, and we moved into that house as our very first home. We finished it out to have basically 2 houses in one, and we rented out our basement. And this is the coolest thing about Renatus was I learned from Chris Wilson, and he said, go and don't go buy properties and then find clients. He said, think about your client first and then go get your properties. And so I was like, okay, what kind of a client do we want? And learning all these from Chris Albin, he goes like, pick the client, do your marketing that way. And so, and he taught me all these different laws of, hey, we live in this house, so there are certain things we don't have to worry about. And so in the basement of the home that we bought, we had young, we picked our client, young, single, female, students. They had to be not hot. That was my wife's criteria. And so we rented out this basement of young, single, female students, and we rented it by the room, and we had 95%, I think it was, of our mortgage covered. So in other words, I'm spending less on housing than when I first got married. And then when we HELOC'd that house, oh my gosh, like we got a massive HELOC, traded on our mortgage. So that was the first vision, was to get almost a free house. And we were able to mark that off within, I think it was, within 1.5 years, I think it was, of joining Renatus, just because of what I learned from these instructors. And of course, the only reason I had enough money to buy that house was because of my Renatus income. I had become 5-star over that time, and because I had made more money that last year than I ever had in my life, the banks were like, yeah, we'll give you a loan. Because of my Renatus income, I not only learned how to get the house, to get the client, but also to qualify to buy the property because of what Renatus had paid me that previous year. And so I remember that was the first one. It was like, check. And then it went up from there, because it's like, well, what do we do with it now? Oh, well, velocity banking. And I think it took us 3.5 years to pay off this house. through that velocity banking method. And then, of course,
so cool.
the HELOC, we went and bought 8 more homes, whatever. But that was one of the big things for me, was getting a house for my wife and I that was less money out of pocket than we ever had in our marriage, in our married life, per month.
Man, that is so cool. I love that. Just being able to see your dreams come to fruition, being able to see and even, I've got kids, you've got kids. It's all about being able to provide my kids with that knowledge, that faith that they can go out there, dream big and accomplish that, and have to dream even bigger and have to set goals on your goals, and keep getting bigger and bigger and keep expanding. So I love that. And I love that Renatus has played such a big part for you. I mean, saying that Renatus truly helped you to discover your purpose, that's phenomenal. And your purpose, you said, was to help other people. Do you have like a personal mission statement that you follow?
I do, actually. And it's 1,000 people. I have set out to help 1,000 people to get themselves in gear to change their own status quo, to break free of basically giving them the tools, giving them the knowledge, giving them the relationships even, and borrowing credibility from a nationwide family like this so they can go and create it for themselves. And so I know that I'm going to hit that, but I know I'm going to have to change that to, probably adding a 0. But when I set that goal, it felt like a mountain. And so I've actually decided that I think I'm about halfway to that goal. And it's weird. Years ago, that felt like a mountain. But I decided I'm gonna keep that goal in place until I pass it, and then we're gonna add a 0 to it. And because that 10,000 feels like another mountain, but we gotta pass the first goal post.
Yeah, man, you gotta climb those mountains one mountain at a time. I love it. And talking about really empowering people to become the change that they wish to see in their own lives, the change that they wish to see in the world. And by doing that, you are becoming the change that you wish to see in the world, becoming a powerful force for good. That's amazing. I applaud you for that. That's truly awesome.
I agree, Daine.
Thank you, brother.
That really is cool to use the education the way that you've used it to get as far as you've gotten and to set those goals, man. I love big goals like that. That is fantastic. And I have no doubt you will hit 10,000.
Yeah.
Well, absolutely. I gotta hit 1,000 first.
That's right.
You'll get there.
Baby steps. Just like Bob Ross said. Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Well, I tell you what, man, I have loved having you out on the Renatus J.A.M. one more time. You are phenomenal, and I wish you the best of luck. I know that you're cranking hard right now and trying to retain your spot in the 5-star winner circle. So I wish you the best of luck, my friend.
Always a pleasure, guys.
Thanks, Daine.
Well, yeah. Oh, man. Super excited. Thank you, Daine, so much for joining us. I also want to give a shout out to our producer, Mr. Aaron Peterson. Thank you, as always, for taking care of us. On behalf of myself and my co-host, I just want to remind each one of you out there that the reason why Renatus truly rocks is because of the people that are associated with it. Thanks, everybody. Renatus rocks.